Hello, very good morning. Today our class is preparation of straight and cross cable. In the last class we have seen Wi-Fi networking standards and also Wi-Fi encryption types. So in this class we are going to see preparation of straight and cross cable. Our topic is network addressing and management. In that subtopic is preparation of straight and cross cable. So when talking about cables, cable pinouts, we often get questions as to the difference in straight through and crossover and rollover wiring of cables and the intended use for each type of cable. These terms are referring to the way the cables are wired, which pin in on one end is connected to which pin on other end. It means here in the LAN networking connectivity, generally we use Cat5 cable or Cat6 cable. For establishment of network, we use another cables also, fiber optic cables and also coaxial cable, depends upon our requirement. Here in this straight and cross cable pinout diagram and pinout preparation of straight and cross cable is very much limited to Cat5 and Cat6 cable. So generally in the twisted pair Cat5 cable or Cat6 cable, the cable contains 4 pairs of different colors wires. So those colored wires are numbered 1 through 8. Generally we have to arrange these colors in such a manner. In one hand, and that is nothing but sending end, nothing but source end. And also at the receiving end, we are to arrange these wires in a particular manner. So there are 2 types of cablings in this, straight cabling and cross cabling. While preparing the twisted pair cable for LAN networks, we have to follow either straight cabling method or cross cabling method. So these 2 terms are referring to the way the cables are wired. It's nothing but which pin on one end is connected to which pin on the other end. So as we said, there are 8 pins in it, 8 wires in it. So these 8 wires are arranged in particular manner, and the same arrangement we have to make in 2 ends, nothing but both ends. So we will see what are the straight cabling and cross cabling. In general, NIC, that is nothing but network interface card, uses pin 1 and 2 to transmit the data and also receive the data. So, to receive the data, it uses pin 3 and 6. So network interface card uses pin 1 and 2 to transmit the data, and this NIC also uses pin 3 and 6 to receive the data. Here a switch does the opposite of it. Switch receives data on pin 1 and 2 and transmits the data from the pin 3 and 6. This exactly opposite to NIC. Here, based on the type of end devices, an UTV cable can be made in 2 ways. The first type of cable, known as straight through cable, connects 2 different types of end devices such as PC to switch. And the second type of cable, known as the crossover cable, connects 2 same type of end devices such as PC to PC or switch to switch. So as we have said, any network interface card uses pin 1 and 2 to transmit the data over the network, and it receives the data through pins 3 and 6. Whereas in case of switch, it does the opposite of NIC. It means the switch receives the data from pin 1 and 2 and transmits the data from pin 3 and 6. So these NIC and switch are 2 dissimilar units, dissimilar devices. And we can transmit the data between switches also. We can the data transmit the data between two computers also. So that is why in a network, if our transmission is between two similar devices, then we use crossover cable. In transmission, in computer networking, if we are going to establish two dissimilar devices like our NIC, computer with NIC and also switch, these are two dissimilar. In this case, we prepare the cable through in the form of straight throw cable. So there are two types of cables: straight throw cable, which is used for when we are using different devices in network connectivity. We use crossover cable when we use similar devices in connectivity. So what is the straight throw cable? Straight throw cabling. A straight throw cable is a type of twisted pair cable that is used in local area networks to connect a computer to a network hub such as a router. In this cable, wires are placed in the same position at both ends. The wire at pin 1 on the one end of the cable connects to pin 1 at the other end of the cable. The wire at pin 2 connects to pin 2 on the other end of the cable, and so on. Straight cable Straight through cable connects two different types of end devices such as PC to switch, PC to router, or PC to some other device. So write the wire position of the straight through cable on both sides. As we said, in straight through cabling, in both the ends, the pin numbers are same, and we have to arrange the wires, twisted pair wires, in the same manner in the side 1 and also side 2. So if we see the arrangement of wires here, we have green, white, then green, then we have to put green, orange, white, then blue and blue, white, then orange, brown, white and brown. In the side B also, we use same arrangement: green, white and green, orange, white, blue, blue, white, orange, brown, white and brown. So in both sides we are using same arrangement of wires. So here in the straight throw cable wiring, it is called 568B. So there are 8 wires, nothing but 4 twisted pairs. Here 1 through 8, here also 1 through 8. Whatever we are arranging in side A, that is nothing but in this side, the same way we are also arranging the second end in the other end. This arrangement is called straight throw cabling. So a straight throw cable is used to connect the devices like PC to switch, PC to hub, router to switch, switch to server and hub to server. If we observe these, any of the two combinations, these are completely different from one to each other. So the straight throw cabling is used for connecting two different devices, nothing but dissimilar devices. Next, when you see crossover cabling, a crossover cabling is a type of cable installation that is used for the interconnection of two similar devices. This is opposite to straight through cabling, where we use two dissimilar devices. It is enabled by reversing the transmission and receiving points at both ends, so that the output from one computer becomes input to the other. This is the most important factor in the crossover cabling. Whereas in the straight through cable, we are using pin 1 and 2 for transmitting and pin 3 and 6 for receiving. In this crossover cable is enabled by reversing the transmission and receiving pins at the both ends. In one hand, we connect some pins for receiving and transmission. In the other end, we have to reverse the same pins in the crossover cable. So in this cable, transmitting pins are one side connect with the receiving pins of the other side and vice versa. Like this goes like this. The wire at pin 1 on one end of the cable connects to pin 3 at the other end of the cable. So this is the transmitting, and here it is receiving. The wire at pin 2 connects to pin 6 on the other end of the cable. So pin 2 is used for transmitting at one end, whereas we are connecting this pin 2 to 6 on the other end, that's receiving it. So remaining wires connect in the same position at both ends. So we are connecting 1, 3, 1 pin 1 and 1 end to the pin 3 at the other end, pin 2 and 1 end to the pin 6 on the other end. So like this, these are 8 pins, 8 wires arranged like this. This is used for transmitting data, transceiving 1 and 2 at one end, and this one is connected to pin 3, that is nothing but used for receiving in the other end. And pin 2, which is used for transmitting in the one end, is used to connect it to pin 6 for receiving on the other end. Six for other end. And when one is connected to 3 and 2 is connected to 6. Whereas from this end, pin 3, which is receiving from pin 1 of the other end, and pin 6 in the receiving end here, receiver 6 is connected to the pin 2 from the other end. And remaining pins 4 at 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 are same, connected in the 4 to 4 and 5 to 5 and 7 to 7 and 8 to 8. This is called crossover. Here we are crossing the connectivity. So in one end, side A, this is side A and side B, nothing but here we are using PC, here we are using hub. So in the PC, the pin 1 and 2 are used for transmitting the data, and these pin 1 and 2, which are used for transmitting the data from PC side, are connected to 3 and 6 respectively for receiving the data at hub. And pin 3 and 6 at the PC end, these two pins, pin 3 and 6, receives the data from hub of pin number 1, nothing but here transmitting, and pin number 3, pin number 2, this is also transmitting respectively. So pin 3 to 1, pin 6 to 2, pin 1 to 3, and pin 2 to 6. Like that, we will connect both the ends with the twisted pair cable or cat cable in crossover cabling connectivity. So if we write wire positions of the crossover cable on both sides, like that, it goes like that: green white. This green white is first number: green white, green, orange white, blue, blue white, orange, brown white, and brown. And these are somewhat changed in the side B. So here we are using green white, but here using orange white. Here we are using green, here we are using orange, and here we are using orange white, here we are using green white, and this blue and blue are same, blue white and blue white are same. Here this is different, here we are using orange, whereas in this side B we are using green, and brown white and brown white are same, brown and brown are same. So whereas in the straight throw cabling method, the side A and side B wire positions are the same. But in crossover cabling, side A wire positions and side B wire positions changes a little bit according to this arrangement. Pin 1 and 2 are connected to pin 3 and 6 respectively in the other end, and pin 3 and 6 from 1 and 2 are connected to pin 1 and 2 in other end respectively. So this is arrangement in crossover cabling. So crossover cable is used to connect the following devices between two similar computers, between two hubs and an hub to switch a cable modem to a router and two router interfaces. So this crossover cable is used for where we use two similar devices in networking. So now we are going to see how we prepare the straight and cross cabling. So we know method what is the straight cabling. In the straight cabling method is used for connecting two dissimilar devices, and in this method the wire positions in the both ends are same, where crossover cable method is used for connectivity when two devices are similar. So in this case we will cross over the pin 1 and 2 from 1 and 2 pin 3 and 6 in other end, and also pin 3 and 6 from 1 and 2 to pin 1 and 2 in the other end. So we know what is straight through cable, and what is cross over cable. So now we will see how to prepare this straight cabling and crossover cabling. So for preparing the crossover cabling and straight cabling, we require the crimping tool. And next, unshielded twisted pair, that is nothing but UTP cable, and modulator connector, that is nothing but 8P8C plug, RJ45, and cable tester. So these three are most important. This is optional, but it helps in testing the cable connectivity, continuity of the cable. So we require the crimping tool, unshielded twisted pair UTV cable, and modular connector 8P, 8C plug, and RJ45 and cable test. So what are the devices we will see once? So this is called crimping tool. So this is also called plier. Crimping plier is a tool to cut UTP cable and connector to clamp the end of the connector. So it is used to cut the UTP cable as per requirement, and also connector to clamp at the end of the connector. And this one is the typical UTP cable. This is also called Cat5 cable. So it comes in the form of bundle. So here also we can see Cat5e cable UTP, and here so whatever the length required to us, we have to cut accordingly, and we have to prepare the cabling, either straight cabling or straight through cabling or crossover cabling. So this unshielded twisted pair cable is a ubiquitous type of copper cabling used in telephone wiring and local area networks. UTP cables to connect with each other, and in UTP cable there are 8 pieces of small colorful cable. So here this is called RJ45 connector. This is used to clamp the wires inside this. So here also RJ45 connector is a tool that we put on the end of the UTP cable. So with this we can plug the cable in the LAN port. RJ45 connector must be attached to the end of the UTP cable. If not, then it will not be useful. Here another cable tester. So in this, after preparing straight through cabling and also crossover cabling, that continuity we can check with this LAN cable tester. So one hand we have to put here, and another hand we have to put here. This is RJ45 connectivity. This is RJ11 connectivity. Generally this is used for testing the telephone wire cable. Here we take this because here we have 8 wires in the form of 4 pairs. We will put in one end in this and another end in this. So if we test, so this pin 1 to 8, 1 to 8 here and 1 to 8 here, they will check each and every one, and if there is any failure, that will indicate. So from 1 to 8, this indicates RJ45, and whereas 1 to 6 that indicates RJ11, which is used for telephone connectivity. Generally, we take for computer connectivity RJ45 pins, nothing but 1 to 8. So cable tester is a device used to test the strength and connectivity of a particular type of cable or other wired assemblies. So now what are the steps for preparation of straight and cross cable? We will see the steps for preparation of straight and cross cable. So in the step 1, strip the cable back 1 inch, nothing but 25 millimeter from the end. Insert the cable into the stripper section of the tool and squeeze it tight. Then rotate the crimping tool around the cable in a smooth and even motion to create a clean cut. Keep the tool clamped and pull away towards the end of the wire to remove the sheathing. The stripping section is a round hole near the handle of the tool. The sheathing should come off cleanly, leaving the wires exposed. So we have to insert the cable in the stripper section of the tool and squeeze it to tight. So then we have to rotate the crimping tool around the cable in a smooth and even motion to create clean cut. So after that we have to pull away towards the end of the wire to remove the sheathing. So like this we have to insert our cable into stripping section of the crimping tool, leaving 1 inch of length. So that after inserting this cable into the stripping section of crimping tool and roll over this like this, roll over the crimping tool so that there will be a clean cut. So after rollover, that will be we see the clean cut. Then we have to pull it out to the wire side. Then all the wires come out like this. 4 pair wires come out like this. So here, so removing after after removing from stripper section of crimping tool, we will get like this. These are 4 twisted pair, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is pull down string, we can remove this one. So like this we get 4 twisted pairs, nothing but 8 wires are there, colored wires are there. So now what we have to do, we have to untwist. These are in twisted mode. We have to untwist these wires up to this part, up to this portion. So untwist and straighten the wires inside of the cable. So inside of the cable, you will see a bunch of smaller wires twisted together. Separate the twisted wires and straighten them out so they are easier to sort into the right order. As these are in twisted position, we have to untwist them first. Then after that we have to straighten the wires. Because here these are in curved position, we have to straighten the wires first. Cut off the small plastic wire separator or core so it's out of the way. So this we have to cut off this one. We have to cut off this one. Don't cut off or remove any of the wires. We won't be able to crimp them into the connector. So we must have this much place. So we have to crimp these wires, nothing but clamping the RJ45. So like that, like this, we have to untwist the wires and straighten the wires here. So like this, we have to straighten all the wires, putting in a particular order. As per straight cabling, cabling order, we have to put. Or if you want, we can put in the crossover modeling. So we can position the wires according to our need. If we are preparing straight through cabling, we have to put according to straight through cabling wire position. Or if we are preparing crossover cabling, we have to arrange these wires in the form of crossover cabling wire positions. So like this is generally straight through cabling methodology, straight through cabling arrangement. So untwist the wire pairs and neatly align them in the T568B orientation. So this is the orientation here. Orange white, then orange wire. We have to arrange first orange white wire, then after orange, then after green white, then after blue, then after blue white, then after green, then after brown white, and last we have to put brown wire at the end. So this is the arrangement of wires here. So we have to arrange these wires, straighten the cables, and also arrange these wires in this manner. So arrange the wires into the right order. This is use fingers to put the wires in the correct order so they can be promptly crimped. The proper sequence is as the following from left to right. So first we have to arrange white, then orange, green white, blue white, green, brown white, and brown. This is the arrangement. This is the sequence of wire positions. There are 8 wires in total that need to be arranged in the right sequence. So note that the wires labeled orange white or brown white indicate the small wires that have 2 colors. So straight through cabling color coding here, pin 1 through 8, one first end, and the other end pin 1 through 8. So in this straight through cabling, orange stripe, then arrange the wires in this position. First we have to arrange orange stripe, then orange wire, then green stripe wire, then blue wire, then blue stripe wire, then green wire and brown stripe wire, and last brown wire. The same arrangement is made in the other end also in case of straight through cable current coding. So this is the arrangement. So these 1, 2 are used for transmitting the data in the PC side, and here 1, 2 are used for receiving the data in hub side. And this is also pin 3 used for receiving, and 4, 5, 6 also used for receiving and transmitting here, and 7 and 8. So whatever we are arranging in the PC side, we are also arranging the same wire position in the up side. This is called straight through cabling. If you want to if you want to prepare crossover cabling, now we have to choose crossover cabling methodology. A crossover has one end with the orange set of wires switched to the green set. Odd numbered pins are always stripped. Odd numbered pins are always stripped, and even numbered pins are always solid colored. So looking at the object 45 with the clip facing away from us, brown is always on the right and pin 1 is on the left. So this is a color coding, so vice versa in the crossover cabling. So orange stripe is pin 1 is connected to the pin 3 and the other end, that is orange stripe. And P2 in the first end, this is orange. This is used to connect in the pin 6 at pin 6, that is running orange in the other end, and pin 3 green stripe is used to connect at the pin 1 and pin 1 of other end, and pin 3 and pin 4 is connected to pin 4 blue, and pin 5 blue stripe and pin 5 blue stripe. Pin 6 green is connected to pin 2 and the other end of the green color. So these are only 2 stages. Pin 1 and 2 and first end are connected to pin 3 and 6 in the other end. Here pin 3 and also 6 are connected to pin 1 and 2 in the other end. So remaining are same. So this is arrangement. Transmitting pin 1 to pin 3 and pin 2 to pin 6, and pin 3 to 1 here and pin 6 to 2 here, remaining are same in the crossover cabling. So we have to arrange the entire wires. We have to arrange these wires. If we are going to use, if you want straight through cabling, we have to arrange according to straight through cabling. If you want to use crossover cabling, we have to use crossover cabling wire positions. So here also you can see this is color standard 5868A. There is Ethernet flash cable, and here arrangement of pins, wires. Here also arrangement of wires. This is straight through cabling arrangement. Each pin in one end is connected to same pin in other end. In the Ethernet crossover cabling, you use pin 1 and 2 are connected to pin 3 and 6, and pin 3 and 6 are connected to pin 1 and 2 in the other end. This is the arrangement of cross cabling. This is nothing but RJ45 plug. So now what we have to do, cut the wires into an even line of inch, that is nothing but 13 mm from sheathing. So we have cut, already we have cut the original cable by putting in the stripper section of the crimping tool up to 1.5 inch. So here we are cutting the wires to make them an even line for a half inch from the sheathing. So cut the wires as straight as possible, about 0.5 inch above the end of the jacket. Hold the wires with the thumb and index finger to keep them on order. Then use the cutting section of the crimping tool to cut them into an even line. The cutting section of the tool will resemble wire cutters. The wires must be in an even line to be crimped into the RJ45 connector properly. If we put them in an uneven line, more further down the wires and cut them again. So like that, we have to insert in the cutting section of the crimping tool about half inch, because we have arranged in a manner either according to straight through cabling or crossover cabling. After arranging the wires with the fingers, we have to keep them in the same order, and we have to put it the arrangement in the cutting section of the crimping tool to make them same even line like this. So if you cut here, these all wires are in even line. So we have to maintain half inch from the sheath. This is called sheath. Now after cutting, after becoming even line, we have to insert in the RJ45 connector. Carefully insert the wires. So like this, after arranging evenly, we have to insert, this is called RJ45 connector. We have to insert the same way where we have arranged in the finger on our fingers, we have to insert into this RJ45 connector. So carefully insert the wires all the way into the modular connector, and this is a modular connector or RJ45 connector, making sure that each wire passes through the appropriate guides inside the connector. These are guides. 8 guides are there. So we have to insert the wires. Thus must be inserted in such a positions according to the guides of these 8 pins. Hold the RJ45 connector so the clip is on the underside and the small metal pins are facing up. Insert the cable into the connector so that each of the small wires fits into the small grooves in the connector. The sheathing of the cable should fit just inside the connector, so it's a past the base. If any of the small wires bend or don't fit into a groove correctly, take the cable out and straighten the wires with fingers before trying again. The wires must be inserted in the correct order, and each wire must fit into a groove before we clamp in the connector. So we have to insert this in a proper way, ensuring these are grooved properly. So like this we have to put, and then we have to insert in the modular RJ45 connector. Then stick the connector into crimping part of the tool and squeeze twice. Insert the connector in the nothing but RJ45 connector. Insert the RJ45 connector in the crimping section of the tool until it cannot fit any further. Push the connector inside the crimping tool and squeeze the crimper all the way down. Squeeze the handles to crimp the connector and secure the wires. Release the handles, then squeeze the tool again to make sure all of the pins are pushed down. The crimping tool pushes small pins in the grooves down onto the wires to hold and connect them to the RJ45 connector. So like this, we have to insert after we have cut and arranged the wires according to straight through or cross core cabling, and we have aligned them in the same line of the wires, and we have inserted into this RJ45 connector. Then we are inserting this entire mechanism into this crimping tool of this crimping section of the crimping tool. So we have to insert it and we have to press the crimping section. We have to squeeze and release the handles, and we have to squeeze like this. We have to press and we have to squeeze. So like this, we have to insert in the crimping tool and we have to press, and then we have to release the crimping tool. So like this, we have to insert. So here, stick the connector into the crimping part of the tool and squeeze twice. Insert the connector into the crimping section of the tool until it cannot fit any further. Squeeze the handles to crimp the connector and secure the wires. Release the handles, then squeeze the tool again to make sure all of the pins are pushed down. The crimping tool pushes small pins in the grooves down into the wires to hold and connect them to the RJ45 connector. So then remove the cable from the tool and check that all of the pins are down. Take the connector out of the tool and look at the pins to see that they are all pushed down in an even line. Lightly tug at the connector to make sure it is attached to the cable. If any of the pins are not pushed down, put the wire back into the crimping tool and crimp it again. So after that, after crimping, generally a cable looks like this. So after preparing the both ends, then we connect the both ends to one end to one computer or another end to any other device. So we have to insert this cable, this RJ45 connector in the NIC, a network card in the LAN port. We have to insert in the LAN port in the PC or desktop or laptop or any other area. So after that, we have to test. Repeat the above steps of the other end of the cable. So in one end we have prepared the cable, in the other end also we have to prepare the same steps. And make sure we have successfully terminated each end of the cable using a cable tester to test each pin. So after preparing the same method and the both ends, we have to test the cable by using cable tester. So if it works properly, then all the pins on the cable tester, 8 pins in the both ends indicates in right proper way. If they are not crimped properly, that will give wrong signal. So that again we have to cut the entire portion of the RJ45 side, and we have to prepare by following the steps what we have seen to prepare the cable again. So this is about preparation of straight and cross cabling uh, for RJ45 cable for connectivity of devices. Similarly, if we are going to connect dissimilar devices, we have to use straight cabling. If we are going to use similar device, we have to use crosswalk cabling. So this is the method of preparing the straight and crosswalk cabling methodology. We also at this situation we also watch another video to how the cabling is prepared like this. Now we will see the preparation of straight through or crossover cable by using crimping tool. So how to prepare the cable we will see now. The materials required for this are RJ45 Ethernet crimp connector and wire stripper and Cat5, Cat5e cables, and this is crimping tool are required. So after procuring this, we will do so like this. We will take a Cat5 cable like this by using strimper tool. Trimper tool. We cut the cable like this and we will remove this. So there are four pairs of wires. We unpair here, and also these are twisted pair cables. These are twisted pair cables. We have to untwist them and arrange them in a proper order. We have to untwist them like this. All the four pairs we have to untwist. After untwisting, we have to arrange them. We have to straighten the cable like this. We have to straighten the entire 8 wires like this. So this is the arrangement. We have to straighten the cable. After straightening the cable, we have to arrange the wires in this manner. So this is the arrangement where orange white, then after orange, green white cable, blue cable, and blue white cable, green cable, brown white cable, and also brown. So this is the arrangement order position, wire position of arrangement here. We have to arrange them in this order. After arranging the wires in this order, we have to so this is the arrangement. We have to straighten this. After straightening this, we have to align the wires in even way. First, we have to align the wires in an even line. So for this, we have to insert these wires in cutting section of the crimping tool. So we have to insert in cutting section. Then after aligning them in even line, we have to insert into RJ45 modular. So we have to insert into the according to these guides. So these must be inserted in the pins according to these circle guides. So after inserting like this in this RJ45 modular, this is the circle RJ45 modular. So we have to crimp, nothing but clamp. So we have to insert in this crimping area. This is called crimping area, crimping section of the crimping tool. We have to insert like this. So after inserting, we have to press twice like this. So this will be clamped, and we have to remove this one. So just once tug the wire, ensuring that it is properly inserted in this. So this is properly inserted. So we can do the same thing in the other end also. Do the same thing in the other end. So this is the preparation of Cat5 cable straight through cabling, crossover cable. According to our requirement, we can put the wires, these wire positions according to whether we are going to use a straight through cabling. We have to arrange in the according to the wire position of the straight through cabling, and the straight through cabling in the first end and the second end, the pins takes same position. In the crossover cabling, first pin and second pin are connected from one end to another end in the 3 and 6 respectively, 3 and 6 pins respectively, and 3 and 6 pins wires from one end are connected to the one end pins in the other end. So this is a method of preparation of the crossover cabling. So thank you very much.